I am back a little bit early with some big news for the save, and it's that we'll be continuing on next season with Manila Monte because we have been offered a new 1 year contract with pretty much all of the same stuff, just looking to attempt to avoid finishing bottom of the PFL. But we will be continuing to make our strides with this club as we look to continue building up this team to be one of the best teams in the Philippines, and then continue making progress toward building this nation. And now we're back for the actual content of the final episode of season 1 for this Philippines Build a Nation save, where we are taking on Mendiola once again for the final match of the PFL season. It has been an interesting few matches with Manila Monte recently, but in those few matches, we have secured an 8th place finish. It ended up being kind of a formality. We weren't close enough to 7th, and we ended up having a pretty big gap to 9th. So we were pretty much always going to finish in 8th place. But how we got there was a little interesting. I think the last time we might have been here was maybe this Tuloy match or maybe these two matches here. But it ended up being a little bit different than the trend we had been seeing throughout the rest of the season, where against teams that were better than us, we were getting destroyed. And then against teams lower than us, we were destroying them. The trend continued against these two matches here, and then once again continued with Army and Tuloy. But then DHC, who are currently 3rd in the league, we played them at home and beat them 5-1 in a match that we dominated and were brilliant in. And then we played one Taguig, who were in last place, who are still in last place, and we drew them away before Kaya, one of the best teams in the Philippines, beating them 3-2 at home, only to go to Loyola, who are currently 11th in the league below us, and to lose 3-2. We ended up kind of flipping it in those last few matches of the season. With that in mind, we are taking on the league's best team in Mendiola. It'd be nice if we could continue that flip and win this match, but I think we need to be realistic, and yeah, we aren't going to win. That being said, the major goal for this match is that we currently have a +5 goal differential going into this game, and I would really like to maintain a positive goal differential for the season. I think that would be a really awesome accomplishment for season 1, especially with this team, to finish in the upper half of the table and have a positive goal difference. That is the goal for this match, to not lose by 5 or more goals. So with that in mind, we are going to go into this match against Mendiola today to conclude the PFL season, and we're continuing with our 4-2-4. The only bad news is that Christopher Reyes, who we got from Mendiola, he will be out for this match because of loan rules. He can't play against his parent club. So that means that the only change we're making is that Paulo Casambre comes into the center of defense, but otherwise, this is our best team. The only other change you might see is that Neil Rodriguez is playing on the left-hand side. The reason for that is because David Garcia got injured. He is going to be out for a relatively significant amount of time. As you guys can see here, sprained knee ligaments. He was out for 5 weeks. That was a real shame. David Garcia was having a really good season, 10 goals and 9 assists, but we haven't had him for the last few matches. But anyways, this is the team. We are going into the final match of the season, arguably one of the most difficult. Let's see if we can leave a positive goal difference on the table. And then we'll go into planning for next season and concluding out season 1.
I was hoping a little bit with the final match of the season and the playoffs coming up that maybe Filipino FM would rest some players, but we are going up against a full-strength Mendiola side here. I suppose we'll tell them we'll try to get revenge, inspire the players a bit. But here we go, final match of the season against the team that started it all. Manila Monte versus Mendiola to conclude season 1. Overmeyer, Alonso, they're just using those triangles and getting things going. Juan Vaccaro plays it out wide to Leonardo. Why are we starting the game with pen? That's just so unnecessary. Who's stepping up for them? It will be Juan Vaccaro. Ah, man, that's a rough start to the match. And another opportunity here for Mendiola. Obermeyer to Alonso, to Ngie, back to Alonso. And he'll look to shoot. That's a great save from Gilbadia, getting down low to his left-hand side and parrying it out for a corner. Brilliant stuff on his part. Can we play out of the back here? They're definitely going to high press. We're going long. I think I would like us to try to play out of the back, even though he's not offsides. What a save from Gilbadia. He has had the odd error this season, but he has been brilliant for the most part. What a save. Against the league's top scorer, and we get it away. Can we conclude this highlight? Emmanuel, brilliant stuff. Great defense. Well done, lads. Well done. Can we get a little counter going here? Do we have something here? Cubon to Rodriguez. Into Pabellona. Play it through to Jahari. Out wide to Soberano. Okay. Soberano shoots. Oh, I thought that was going to go in. But NGA here from, oh, that's a good ball. That's a good ball. It's off the post. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Emmanuel, no. Yes, blocked. Brilliant defending. Great stuff, lads. Well done. I mean, it is all Mendiola. Unsurprisingly, it is all Mendiola. But Pabellona winning it well. Rosquillo, great ball to Soberano. Let's progress. Vitriolo. Oh, no. Cubon. Let's go. Cross. Jahari. Pen. No. That should have been a pen. He did get the ball. Rodriguez. Someone shoot. No. Come on, boys. Get the goal. Get the goal. Soberano stands over it. Can we find Ngo? Ngo. No. Pavlona. Shoot. Yes. We've scored against Mendiola. It's a tie match. Jahari with a brilliant finish. What a goal. Soberano puts it into the box, and Go can't win it. Pabellona with a very intelligent layoff. What a finish from Jahari. Strauss carries it forward. He finds Vicar. Strauss. I've just sung Badia's praises earlier in the match, and that is such a terrible goal to allow. Obermeyer here standing over the free kick. Oh, we got the goal. Mendiola woke up a bit, and it's 3-1 now. But I'm so proud of this team for scoring, for hanging in there as long as we did. I mean, we were tied with the best team in the league at one point. We don't have the quality. We don't have the quality. We don't play with the same intensity, probably, that Mendiola do, as Emmanuel going around the left-hand side. What a save from Medea! What a save! A brilliant first half of football on our part. We got the goal. Honestly, I think we've played well so far. I am going to tell them we're disappointed and tell them that things have to improve just to motivate them. But I'm very happy with this. If we end with a similar scoreline, I will tell them that I'm proud of their efforts. But hopefully, last match of the season, I'd love to see us do well. Soberano winning it very high up the pitch. He finds Vitriolo. Can we get a shot off here? Oh, that was a decent ball, actually. And Obermeyer once again here. Just a lot of free kicks. And Zubi Zareta has found the back of the net. It hurts a little bit that we've allowed... Oh, it was offsides. I wasn't even paying attention. It was offsides. Let's go. And we have a corner here. Soberano standing over it. Can we find someone like Ngo? We looked for Ngo, but couldn't quite find him. So Rodriguez here. That's strange. Why? Dude, it was in our own half. What did you do there? That was an awful goal to allow. One of the strangest things that happens in the match engine is that in our own half, you can't play him offsides. And for some reason, he's just allowed Mendoza to walk through. Mendiola here with another opportunity. Might be time to go a little bit more defensive now and just try to see out the game as best as we can. Alonso, back post. And it's now 5-1. And we have 30 seconds left in the match. I think we might... I don't remember what our goal difference is. I forgot what I said earlier. But I think 5-1 keeps us at a positive goal difference, which I would be really happy with. Because I would only be, I think we had a +5 goal difference, and we'd only be losing 4. And that is the final whistle. 5-1 to Mendiola. And that concludes season number 1.
And that loss against Mendiola does mean we keep a positive goal difference for the year. A +1 goal difference on the year. We will absolutely take that, finishing in 8th place with 48 points. I mean, 74, we allowed a lot of goals. We were one of the teams that allowed the most goals in the league. However, we also scored among the most goals in the league. I mean, that overall, it's a pretty good season, I think. As you all can see from our past positions, I mean, we were just 8th place for the whole season. More than half of the season, we were just that mid-table 8th place finish. We bumped around a little bit, but this is absolutely where we belong this season. Man, we were actually supposed to do a little bit better than we did. Army massively overperformed their expected position. All right. I mean, we're supposed to be a top half of the table team. That's pretty decent. So this is what the PFL table looks like at the end of the season, but the winner of the PFL hasn't been decided yet. There is a 4-team playoff that is happening to determine who will win the PFL. So Mendiola will face Aguilas and DHC will face Stallion, and then the final will be the winners of those matches. Until then, though, finishing in 8th place was really big for us. We got £175,000 for finishing in 8th place. That is really nice financially because that does put us back into positive overall balance. We now got about 52,000 in the overall balance, and as long as we can continue improving, hopefully we'll continue bringing in some money. That's going to allow us to have a transfer budget and a bigger payroll, more importantly. And as long as we continue along that train, we will be able to continue to build up this team, continue to build it up to become one of the best in the Philippines. And if we can become one of the best in the Philippines, that's when we can start making a serious difference in this Build a Nation save. I'm curious to see, how did Mendiola do in continental competition? So AFC Champions League, they lost in the quarterfinals to Pohang. That's actually a team that we beat in the previous save. So that's a little sad. But Asian Champions League 2 quarterfinals is pretty good. Have they reached the final yet? Who is in the final of the Asian Champions League 2? Shanghai Port and Al Tawoon from Saudi Arabia and China. That'll be interesting. The Philippines doesn't currently have a representative in the Champions League Elite, but it looks like, unsurprisingly, Al Ittihad winning that. And then the AFC Challenge League is the 3rd level competition for Asia. Looks like a North Korean team won that. But we did have a Filipino team here, so they did not make the semifinal. And United City were knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Challenge League. So actually, our Filipino side's doing pretty well. Hopefully that will help us out for the future. But overall, actually a decently solid start here for Filipino sides in Asia. Last things I'm curious to look at were just who were the best players in the PFL this season. And unsurprisingly, Jesus Mendoza, 39 goals this season, man. That's crazy. But he did not break the record that he had when we were there. The record is still 42 goals that we had. And even in 5 more matches, he did not break that. I'm sure he will break it at some point, but he did not break it this season. As far as assists are concerned, I think the assist record was broken. Jay Soberano getting into the top assists. That's pretty good. Player of the Match awards went to Vicente Alonso, and most shutouts went to David Seed. And we do not have, we allowed a lot of goals. Looking at our players, a number of players having a good season. Carlos Vitriolo at the end doing really well. He actually got a hat trick a few games ago. So he had 12 goals this season and 18 appearances. Super solid from him. David Garcia doing well. Jamie Chang on loan. I think he's going to be a miss for next season. New signing Jasperman Johari doing well with 9 goals. And Go getting 8. Soberano had a good season. Cubon had a good season. Definitely going to miss some of these players, especially these loan players next season. We do have a few players who we've signed to contract extensions. John Talaruk is the only player who we got in through our youth intake. I didn't show the youth intake because it was terrible. Honestly, I didn't even really want to sign Talaruk because he's not very good, but I always signed one player from the first youth intake, so I've decided to bring him in. He's a forward. He'll be on 55 pounds per week. He's pretty good, but he's definitely missing quite a few things. But for next season, Ariel Ngo, his great jumping reach will be important for us as he's a defender. We can weaponize him on corners. David Garcia, the youngster who had a wonderful season, he'll be continuing on. Elmo Pabalona, he's one of our central midfielders. Definitely a player we'll need moving forward. And then Vitriolo and Jahari, those two forwards, will be continuing with the side as well. Otherwise, for everyone else here, I'm pretty much planning on releasing every other player in the squad. As you can see, most of them are unhappy because I haven't offered them a new contract. So it's going to be a very different looking squad next season, but hopefully a much better looking squad. But anyways, that is the conclusion of season 1. The plans moving into the summer are just going to be to sign better players, just try to improve the squad, build around the few players who I think are really good, and then just continue to build up this squad, hopefully bring in the right loans, bring in the right free transfers, and we'll go from there. But otherwise, I'm going to move forward. Let's see what happens in season 1 of the PFL. We're going to go through the semifinal and final, and that's how we'll conclude this episode. My apologies. As we move forward here, I didn't realize that we hadn't gotten our initial budget yet, but the board has just set our initial budgets at £400 per week and a transfer budget of 8.64k, which at least we have some transfer budget. This doesn't really mean much. It's not really an increase on our payroll. Our payroll is not good because the minimum we can offer players is £100 per week, but because that is the minimum we can offer players, I can just keep signing players and go way above the payroll. It just means that mentally I have to consider whether or not we're going to meet the overall balance or not. But transfer budget of 8.64k, maybe I'll move some of that into the payroll if I can. But again, that'll be something to think about for the summer transfer window. But now, let's move forward to the championship playoff semifinals. All right, semifinals. It is one single leg, not a two-legged semifinal. So Mendiola versus Aguilas, DHC versus Stallion. Who will play in the PFL championship? We are going to continue this match. And Mendiola barely beating Aguilas 3-2. Nearly choking that match. And Stallion beating DHC on pens. Arda Chinkir, actually, a legend from the previous save. Well, not a legend, but a very good player from the previous save, getting 2 goals for DHC here. But a 3-2 victory means the final will be Mendiola versus Stallion. And here it is, the Champions Playoff Final. Will it be Mendiola or will it be Stallion? As we continue, and Mendiola, unsurprisingly, they are the PFL champions. So that does mean that Mendiola have won the Philippines Football League in season 1 of this save, with Stallion making the playoff final as well. I believe that means that Mendiola will play in the AFC Champions League 2, and Stallion will have then qualified for the AFC Challenge League. And with that, we can do the end of season review now, looking at our new arrivals. I think Soberano was probably one of our best signings, but then we also had David Garcia here. I think Jahari was really good. We actually had some really, really good signings this season. Board is super happy with us. We got that A+ rating from the board as we finished in the top half of the table. Some really good wins here. Actually, our Match to Remember was one right at the beginning of the season. I think that's one we did on one of the episodes, actually. Yeah, we've got a long way to go financially. It'll be nice when we're actually bringing in revenue. Fans Player of the Season was Jay Soberano. He was also the Young Player of the Season. Signing of the season, though, David Garcia. Top goal scorer was Carlos Vitriolo. And a bunch of records set, as this was the club's first season. So we set a bunch of new records there. And we have a bunch of stuff on the timeline here. For whatever reason, the unwanted record of just 48 points in a football league season is on the timeline. It was also our first season, so that was also our best goals, our best point total. This page just looks weird now. But all right, that concludes season one of the Philippines Building Nation Save. We will be back next time with a transfer special. But I hope you all have enjoyed season one. We'll be back next time to show who we bring in and how we look to improve the squad. But until then, I hope you all are doing well. Hope you all are taking care of yourselves. And I will see you all next time. Bye.